Welcome to Blended Healing. Welcome to May I Offer Mondays, a new segment inspired by a fellow content creator. May I Offer Mondays is similar to other messages, except for this is something to give you some thought, something to think about. Not telling you what to do, not telling you where to be, but just being your authentic self. Today we're going to talk about drop the knife. Drop the knife in your conversations. Drop the knife. How many times, even today, as you move through your life, have you heard yourself beginning a sentence to somebody else with one of the following? You need to. That's one of mine. I own it. I don't get it. Help me understand how you. Where did you come up with that? When I was your age, I would. You're a grown ass adult. Don't you think it's time you started to calm down? Why did you just relax and listen to me? Promise me you won't get mad. Are you listening? What were you thinking when I need to say something to you? How many times have I told you? Those are all jigs with the knife. When you're having those conversations with other people, ditch the knife. I know it's hard. I always say you need to. And the best way to say that is, may I offer? Because they can stop you right then and there and say, no, I don't want to hear what you have to say. And that'll be it, and that's all. When you say, may I offer, it gives the person a chance to think. Do they want to hear what you have to say? And if they do, be gentle in your delivery. It's not about what you say, but it's how you say it. It's time for you to ditch that knife when you are charged up, wanting something, upset about something, or feeling less than someone. Save stabbing for those video games that you play in secret, not in your relationships. Your kid, your friend, your coworker, your partner. They're loving these starts to your sentences as much as them getting stabbed and ran over by a car than to hear you start your sentences like that. Because the first thing they hear is, oh, shit. And then they all of a sudden they get on the defense, and anything that you're saying to them, they don't even hear it because now they're on guard mode of how they're going to protect themselves. How much are you getting what you want by by talking like this? All you achieve, all you achieve is a defensive fire in the person that you're hoping to impact, to connect with, or somehow make something happen with. Sometimes we need to just shut our mouths and stop with the interruptions. You know, when you're having a conversation, and you're talking over things. The let me just say this nonsense. Be an active listener. Shut up. Close your mouth. Zip it. You might as well have taken out a switch and whipped them with the loose end of a tug of war rope, with the end result of nobody winning. All this back and forth is just firing up the person. And then you become engaged in childish activities. And you're an adult. You can call it, label it, whatever you want to label it, but it's a cycle of push and pull that goes nowhere productive. And that's true facts. What about lecturing people? You got to learn how to drop that as well. The long-winded speeches about your glory days and her hard-earned uphill both ways, eating double portions of shit that you don't like to eat, life lessons. Nobody want to hear that shit. Being a professorsaurus, right, leads others to tune you out faster than you can say, back in my day. And you're trying to spew wisdom at them like they signed up for your personal masterclass. But guess what? They didn't enroll. They're like, get the hell out of here with that. I don't want to hear that. They want to hear about the here and the now. However, you can engage wisdom and deliver it a different way. It's not about all that you have, all that you have done. Yes, your experiences does give you wisdom, and you want to pass that over because you don't want your loved ones to repeat the mistakes that you made. But they're not in the headspace to hear that. Not yet. That's why it's so significant to say, may I offer. You want them to be in a place where they're ready to receive what you have to say. And some of these tactics or the way you go about it, it's like having a knife in your hand, poking them, or interrupting them, or for being a professor of sorts. They're all signs of your survival brain habit antics. They're not the mark of a relationship owner who's winning at the communication game. Here's the thing. When you start really listening, when you zero in on what the other person is actually saying without your own agenda cluttering the view, that's when the connective, creative possibility happens. That's when you'll start having conversations worth far more than the weight of the ink of the words for this entry. Nothing. Beloveds, the problem with all these verbal knives in relationship is that they are steeped in the agenda of what? Of control. Control. As much as they are about controlling what your own people do, whether it's your kid, your partner, your coworker, your friends, is saying, doing, or should be doing, they are really aimed at controlling away your emotional discomfort. I hope you're getting this. When someone starts a sentence to you with verbal knives, how much do you perk up and say, oh, oh. Why, thank you for pointing that out. I will certainly change my ways and attend to this just as you are saying right away. I really appreciate the sarcasm, your unsolicited feedback, blame, or even condescension. Ow! What do you do with that when somebody comes back to you and says some shit like that? It takes you off guard. Now you uncomfortable. Should have never came at them like that, yo. Should have never came at them like that. You, just like those who you poke with these verbal hunks of habit, garbage, tune out or bring out the claws. And in that, what is the solution? My loves, first, may I offer, see, that you understand that these are verbal habits you have learned to protect yourself, to manage discomfort of conflict, and or massage the moment in the past. And like all habits, you are cued by the situation, the other's behaviors, the other's words or their tone, or even your own nasty moods, or the lack of what you were trying to deliver. To act in these ways that achieve a reinforcing result, they must have either delayed upset or intensity, or perhaps in your mind at least gotten you what you wanted. The problem is that these piss other people off, disconnecting from you and you disconnecting from them, and making it harder to get things done together. My loves. Secondly, commit to breaking the poking habit and begin noticing how much these phrases help or hinder your relationship moments. It won't be enough to simply think about changing these habits. Ideally, you'll be willing to observe yourself over time, noticing the results of verbal poking creates. Perhaps even tracking it for a while, maybe in a journal. This effort to observe yourself will likely weaken the hold the habits have on you, upping the odds that you will make a go of replacing these tendencies with more skillful options. And thirdly, use your ownership breathing to ride out the urge to poke when cued to do so. Take a breath. What do you mean by that, Blended? Number one, in breath. Only this moment of whatever you're sensing in your body or observing in your thoughts. Your in breath when you breathe in. Number two, when you breathe out, without believing, buying into, fixating, or rabbit hole falling into a rigid assumptions, expectations, or nastiness. Let that release that out. And before your next in breath, simply wait and notice everything happening in your body, your mind, and around you just as it is, the raw, the full, the truth of it all. Lastly, may I offer that you insert some silent waiting, a truth talking acknowledgement of your upset feelings, and or maybe a statement of genuine intention of not wanting to poke or stab someone with a knife with your words, and instead of wanting to prompt a more connective, creative solution. Beloveds, without the verbal poking habit that you have, you might actually find yourself hurting the moment towards something of value to the both of you. Let me do some house cleaning. I've been talking a minute. And then I'm going to come back and give you a practice that you can utilize going forward. Ashe, Ashe.
Of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use, for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use.
Welcome back. Here's a practice for you. It's called Waiting for Godot. W.A.I.T.ing for Godot. Godot. It is to give yourself a chance to let urges to verbally poke or stab at some other people pass you by. Try adding the following self-inquiry questions to moments when you find yourself on the verge of a poke fest with someone. W. Whose? Me or them or we? A. Agenda. Mine, theirs, or ours. I. Is. Because aren't you about to force something? T. This. Because is this what you, the relationship, the we, calls for? Try to put those things into practice. I want to thank you for stopping by Blended Healing. Remember, put the knife down. Nobody want to hear you say to them, you need to. I don't get it. Help me understand how you. Where did you come up with that? When I was your age, I would. You a grown ass adult. Don't you think it's time you started to? Calm down. Why did you just relax and listen to me? Promise me you won't get mad. Are you listening? What were you thinking when? I need to say something to you. How many times have I told you? Change it up. How does this sound? May I offer? May I offer? I may not get it. Would you like to explain to me so I can understand? Please educate me. I don't understand. Would you like to explain it to me? I have lived a long life, and I know that you may not care, but I might be able to share some experiences with you. May I offer? See the difference? Instead of saying calm down, bruh, sis, just breathe, just breathe. May I offer you to just breathe? Things like that. Try to reword those sentences to make them seem a little bit more calmer and to not give the other person direction, but asking them if it's okay for you to tap in. Give them the opportunity to tell you yes or no. I want to thank you for stopping by Blended Healing. Be well, stay safe, and I shall see you very, very soon.